Anyway, let us continue the explanations about views. In 3D view, actually, about the properties. Anyway, we talked about the disciplines and show hidden lines. The next one is default analysis display. If I open analysis display this in styles, you'll see that this is functional when you are using some analysis softwares or you have installed a plugin on your Revit. For instance, let me open one of these 3D views that, for instance, this. Then I add a section box, or we don't. Afterwards, from the analyze, watch this, in energy analyze, I click and drag it. Afterwards, here we got solar and lighting. I click on it. Then the solar analysis will be opened. Here we are, I'm just launching this for the first time. As you can see that we can use the location dialog to select new weather situation. I mean a station, I'm sorry. Or we can use the existing weather station. I click on use existing station. And then we specify the type of study, then the surface, or we can choose all of the roofs, or we can pick the roofs that we want to analyze them. For instance, let me select some surfaces here. For instance, these faces, and let me adjust it to the top view, and then I click and drag to select these elements, the top faces that are exposed to sun. Finish. After clicking on finish, I click on update, and then I wait for the process to be done. Okay, wait for a second, and then anyway, it is done. Watch this. I close it, and according to the position of the sun and also the default settings, this is the gradient of the solar analysis and also exposed, and the energy analysis is related to the mechanical discipline, but I try to talk about them briefly. And then here in analyze display settings, firstly, as you can see, when we use this analyze, we'll have analyze display settings. And then in default, we got different types of visual style of the solar settings or energy analyze. Watch this, that we can show them in tags. If I run the analyze process or analysis process again, or in default analysis display, we can show the grid lines, we can show the contour, that we can determine these items for the energy analyze when we are running the process. Again, I get back to this part and note that it's better to set the visual style to hidden line and shaded, not realistic and texture, in order to cover everything. Again, we get back to this part, and also in color, watch this, we can specify the color mapping, the gradient, and range it. For instance, for this color, I can add more colors to the gradient, that we can change the values ourselves, or we can define a range to it, a minimum and maximum value for the RGB. And then in legend, we can create a legend out of the colors in the gradient and also the solar analysis. Check the legend. It is added in the scene, which is Let me select the trees and then I hide them. And then in the top view, I enable section box. And then let me adjust the crop region. And then I adjust the legend as well. Look, I want to show the legend and the top view or the top faces together. And then can navigate in the scene better. Then for the legend, as you can see, is showing the meanings and the concept of the colors, showing on the roofs. And we can choose to show the legends or not. Okay? And also we can show the names. We can choose the fonts and also the decimal places and specifying the units, maximum and minimum values. I click on apply and OK to update it, and I should use the define a style or I should run it again to update the changes. Again, note that when we use the analyze, energy analyze, we'll have the styles for analysis display styles actually. Let me choose one of these, then I click on OK to set it to by default style like this way. OK. Then I want to click on solar. Wait for a second, solar. Try again, then I click on update, or let me pick some faces at first, or the previously selected elements. Again, from the top view, I click and drag to select the top faces, and like this way. Check it out. Fill down, and then I click on finish. Wait for a second, and then I click on update. Then we should wait for the process to be done. And here, as you can see, the process is done and the legend is shown that we can consider the color for the gradient. And note that the points do better on the surfaces like masses, but I will talk about this later in the following sessions in detail. Okay, for now I just wanted to cover the properties in the 3D view. Anyway, in analysis, after talking about display, we got analysis display settings, as you can see. And in this window, we got choose one of these styles, as I mentioned. Look for the visibility, and also specifying the unit. But note that in this project, I have set the discipline to coordination, so in the process of analysis, the results are not accurate and precise because it's better to use masses. Anyway, like this way here, you can set the units, whatever you want, like years or whatever. Like this way. I click on OK. And then I zoom in. As you can see, there are some specified values for each of these points that we can adjust them here. Setting the shape to circle, triangle, and a square, and also the rounding, decimal places, the text font, showing the text or hiding the text. As you can see, since we have set the solar analysis to points, then we'll have the text. Watch this. And this is the text type. As you can see, 2.5 millimeters Arial, and the backgrounds are not displayed, that we have to control it from the annotate tab to edit the text. Take settings, and from this part, watch this. This is the used font. I set the background to transparent, and then I apply. Watch this. However, we can show the border and so on. I click on OK, and then they will be transparent. So this was about the analysis display settings. And the next one, we got sun path. We can show the sun path in the scene. We talked about it, that we turned it off and turn it on, like this way, with the directions. And if I turn it off, it will be unchecked, so they are connected to each other. The next one, subdiscipline, that it does not exist in the Revit by default, but you can create a project parameter on your own. For instance, I have created this subdiscipline in Revit. As we talked about the parameters in the families, you should know that there are parameters that they do not exist in Revit, that you have to create them yourself.